Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this place where destiny is made. I'm the Evernight Writer, and today we're going to be talking about Sony again. So a few days ago, Sony aired their State of Play where they showed off a few new games and DLC. As for showcases go, it was alright, but there were a few notable announcements, like the release date of Monster Hunter Wilds, something I've actually really been looking forward to. There was also a sequel or a successor of sorts to the critically acclaimed Ghost of Tsushima, set centuries later, Ghost of Yotai. Haven't actually played Ghost of Tsushima yet, but Ghost of Yotai looks pretty good, and I can't wait for it to reach PC so I can play them one after the other in a few years. All that being said, there was one announcement I was, let's say, a little less enthused about. Horizon Zero Dawn is getting a remaster. Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn. I know, it's just a fuck you to all the Bloodborne fans, so if you're one of those guys, it's rough days, man. Now, mind you, this game did launch all the way back in 2017, which, believe it or not, is almost 8 years ago, so this game definitely isn't new. That being said, I mean, just look at it. The gameplay you're seeing in the background is the base game with no visual enhancements running on PC. Does this really look like a game that needs a remaster? Ladies and gentlemen, we're hitting a plateau in computer graphics technology. The leap in graphics from generation to generation is fairly minimal. There are very few PlayStation 4 games that actually need a remaster. Definitely not Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, thankfully, Sony doesn't seem to be releasing this as a new standalone title, but a relatively cheap upgrade for people who already own the game. But if you don't own the game, well, on Steam, Horizon Zero Dawn costs $50, but apparently on the PlayStation Store, it was only $20. And recently, in anticipation of this remaster, they've doubled the price of this almost 8-year-old game to $40. Thing is, it's not like you're gonna have the option to just get the normal $20 version anymore. Nah, if you want this game, you gotta shell out. Even if you don't want the visual enhancements, you're still just effed in the A. I mean, it is below AAA pricing, but still, this game released back in 2017, it's too goddamn old for that. That being said, I gotta ask, why? Who asked for this? I mean, clearly some people asked for this, but it just seems to be a continuation of one of the most annoying trends in the modern gaming industry. The constant remaking and remastering of older titles. Now, that's not to say this remaster is not an upgrade. There are clear visual improvements. I mean, it's really going from one really good thing to something a little better, but still, there's also haptic feedback improvement for you DualSense controller users, so yeah, that too. Point is, it is a better version of the game, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a necessity. Now, as a matter of principle, I don't care for taking older properties and remaster or remaking them. The way I see it is that we're taking resources away from making new experiences to give us things we've already experienced or already had the ability to experience. Now, mind you, it's not like these remasters and remakes aren't good games. I do think if the demand is high enough, there's some titles that should be remade or remastered. I mean, seriously, how long have people been asking for Bloodborne to be remastered, or at least ported to the PC? For years, people have been telling me how amazing Bloodborne is, but to this day, it's still just beyond my grasp because I don't have a plastic box. There are also some older games that have major bugs or aren't even playable at modern resolutions without mods. Games like these would also benefit from a remaster. So I do think some remakes are worth doing, but for the most part, I don't like the idea of getting less new and unique experiences to play the same shit all over again. And again, I'm not saying these remakes and remasters are bad games, not by any stretch of the imagination. I think the RE4 remake was a pretty good experience, but it's hard to get excited these days when the same games are getting sold to us twice. But let's keep it $1.50 though. These remakes aren't a result of passionate people being passionate about their previous creations and wanting people to experience them once more. No, this is the corpos just wanting to get paid. I mean, most of the gaming industry these days is just corpos wanting to get paid, but still. When releasing any new title, especially AAA titles, studios run the risk of said title not doing well. We saw this with a project like Star Wars Outlaw that should have been pretty successful on paper, but in reality it fell short of expectation. Now, what if there was a way you could release an older, more successful product to a newer audience, one that would be guaranteed to be successful? That's where these remakes and remasters come in. If the original game was successful enough, the remake is basically just guaranteed money. It's basically the same thing as when EA releases the same sports game over and over, just changing the number on the box. Of course, when the video game formula gets copied and pasted over and over, it starts to stagnate, like how Ubisoft has basically been remaking Far Cry 3 over and over, until now when people are disillusioned to it, and even then, they're still kind of making it. I mean, seriously, there's this meme that everything Ubisoft makes is just Far Cry 3, and I'm starting to believe it. I have a feeling the rate of which we get remakes is gonna go up over the next few years. That's not to say we won't be getting new games and IP, but we definitely won't be getting nearly as much as we should. Anyways, I've been rambling for too long. Let me know what you think. Let's have a discussion down below. Are you excited about the new Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster? Are you excited to see older titles be brought back to life? Or are you in my camp, wanting resources to be put into new titles? Whatever your opinions, let's discuss them in the comments. I'm the Evernight Writer. Like, subscribe, and have a wonderful night.